How's it going? Dave from Comic Book Investments. So today I'm going to do another list of 5 comics that have really just been dropping like crazy. And I know a lot of comics have been dropping over the last few months from their highs around, May, April, June, somewhere around there. But these have been dropping a lot more, and I'll actually explain why they've been dropping a lot more than your average comic book. Okay, so I've done this list before, but there's a lot of people out there hyping a lot of comic books. I'm trying to say, hey, let's back up and let's focus on why maybe these comics are dropping. All right, first up we got is Amazing Spider-Man 316. And this is the first kind of full cover appearance of Venom. I know he was in 315, but he's just a little blurb at the bottom. And this is kind of his second full appearance because it was more of a cameo in 315, not a full appearance. But this is also the classic cover. People love this cover, right? There's blood on his hands, scratching up Spider-Man's chest. Pretty cool. But anyways, okay, so let's look at it. All right, when was the peak? All right, this book peaked in March at $1,925. And you can look at the graph and kind of see where it was on this graph. And if you look down, you can kind of see oh, wow, it peaked and then it's dropped and it's slightly come up a little bit. All right, so where is a 9A at today? Well, today, for average sakes, it sells for around $1,343. That's a 30% drop from its peak. And not only is it, dropping, but you can see, if you look at the dark in this little graph here, if you look at the dark purple, that's the average, and then the light purples are the peaks and the lows, just one-offs. But if you can see, it's just straight down, but it looks like it's slowly coming up this month, but that is not the rest of the grades. 9.4s, 9.6s, 9.0s, all that kind of stuff are just pretty much straight down. Maybe the little peak is maybe someone paid a little bit, in August, and it kind of brought it up a little bit, brought the average. If you look at a 9.4 peaked in May at $525. It is now currently selling for $345. That's a 34% drop. A 9.0, $516 in April, now sells for $285. That's a 45% drop. That's literally losing half your money. Just boom, right like that. The reason why I think it's going down is the movie's coming out, yes. And if you follow my channel, you know that I always say right when the trailer comes out, that's kind of the peak hype. It's all this hype, all this hype, all this hype, all this hype. And I think what it is dealers just unload as soon as the first trailer comes out. And so that's kind of the peak. And then it just starts going down and going down because supply and demand. All of a sudden, if a bunch of dealers and a bunch of people think it's the peak and they start selling all their comics, then there's a ton of supply out there and it just goes for less and less and less. So that's usually how it happens. Now, with Venom 2 right around the corner, will Venom books kind of have a resurgence? I think Venom is a very strong character, and I see no problem in the future with this being a good buy. But as of right now, it's dropping, and I think it will continue to drop a little more and a little more, but it's going to level out, and then it's fine. So if you have this book, I would suggest kind of selling it now while there's still a lot of hype for it, and then picking up a copy. It'll probably drop another 10 or 20%. Okay, before I move on, if you could do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed already, please think about subscribing. If you like my channel and you like this kind of stuff, I hope today is the day that I can earn your subscription. It really helped me out with the algorithm, YouTube's algorithm, and growing my channel. Thank you. So let's move on to the next one. Captain America 117. This is the first appearance of Falcon. Everyone knows that he was in the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show, and he's going to be the new Captain America in Captain America 4. All right, so I try to get as realistic, close to today's data as possible. That's why sometimes the grades jump around, like it says an 8.5, 7.5, and 3.5, because I want August numbers. So an 8.5 in May hit its peak. You can see in the graph, just straight down to the bottom. 22.50. Now it sells for $13.20, and that is 41% drop. A 7.5 sold for $1,300 in May again. and now sells for $870, 33% drop. And then in April, a 3.5 peaked at $500, now sells for $369, a 26% drop. With the TV show over, the hype is kind of dead. But wait for more stuff to come out in Captain America 4. But that's so far away. That's honestly years away. So I think this book will continue to slowly drop. I think he's a strong character, and he's coming in the MCU as Captain America and Captain America 4. I wouldn't worry too bad about it. If you have it and you just want to keep it, that's fine. Like always, I always say, buy the book that you love. Who cares about these ups and downs? In the long run, I think this is a good investment. But for right now, I think it's going to drop some more. Moving on, we got Fantastic Four 53. This is the first appearance of Mobius is his name, something like that. Mobius, I think his name is. He was played by Owen Wilson in the Loki TV show. I love that TV show, by the way. I thought it was the best of all the MCU. But anyways, this is his first appearance. He peaked for 9.8, peaked in June for $662. Now sells for about $520, 21% drop. And as you can see, it's just right there peaked and it's going down. It's going to go down more. A 9.6 in May peaked at $430. Now sells for $180. That's a 58% drop. A 9.4 in April sold for $280. That's its peak, and now sells for $100 at minus 64%. This book will continue to drop. It will pick up steam again when Loki 2 season comes out and all that kind of stuff. But who knows when that might be? It might be a year, like most TV shows. It could be a couple years. And will we see Owen Wilson's character more? Of course, we're going to see him in season 2. But most of these MCU shows are short-lived. Most of them are one-offs. Loki just happened to get a season 2. I don't know if he'll get a season 3. It really comes down to Tom Hiddleston and if he really wants to continue Loki as a character and whatnot. I don't see this as the best long-term. And long-term, I mean 5 to 10 years. I don't see this as good long-term investment. In the short term, I would get rid of it and then probably pick it up a little bit later when there's more movement on Loki Season 2. All right, next. We got X-Men 221. This is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister. A 9.8 peaked in May for $929 and is currently selling for $526, minus 43%. And look at that, just straight down. Like pretty bad. Look at that graph. At 9.6, you're looking at about $345 in June. And then currently it's up to a 6, minus 40%. A 9.4 peaked in April at $260, now sells for $119, and these are averages prices, and that's 54% drop. So quite a bit of drop on this one. I think this one got hit with like the rumor mill of Mr. Sinister and all this stuff, and it just never materialized. I think that's why it's dropping a lot more. Will Mr. Sinister show up in some kind of X-Men MCU something? Yes, but not for a long time. I don't see the MCU rebooting the X-Men in the Marvel franchise with starting out with Mr. Sinister, right? They're going to go for the heavy hitters. They're going for Magneto. They're going to go for, some bigger characters. Mr. Sinister, if X-Men was still at Fox, then yeah, Mr. Sinister probably would have made an appearance. But I think the MCU wants to start over from scratch to establish, and you go with the heavy hitters. Magneto is going to be the main villain. And however they do it, I just don't see Mr. Sinister playing a big role, at least not anytime soon. Is this still a good book to have long term? Yes, people love Mr. Sinister, and I see this as a good book to get. But as of right now, I would not buy it. I would wait. I think it's going to drop a little more. And then, yeah. All right, last one. Now, in my previous video that I did of this, I put Avengers 48 as more of a speculation it's going to go down. Not that it's going to go down right away, but this is another speculation book that I think is going to go down because it's easy to say like, oh, look, the graphs show that it's all going down, right? But how do you know when the peak is, right? You want to be like, for the example, this X-Men 221, You want to be this person that sold it at 9.29 in May. You don't want to be the person that's holding it at 5.26 currently. So this is more of a speculation, and I'll explain why. So we got Batman Adventures 12. This is the first appearance of Harley Quinn. Okay, a 9.8 peaked in May at $451, is now currently selling at an average of $3,534, minus 22%. Not that bad, right? And if you look at the graph, it's like, oh, it's slowly gone down. Like, hasn't really dipped that much. You look at a 9.6 in April, sold for $1,687, now sells for $1,380. That's 18% drop from its peak. So it's kind of leveling out. If you look at this 9.4, notice how there's no price and no nothing, because in August that was the peak price. For 9.4 is $1,225 in August. That was the peak. So August was its peak. And could it go up a little more? Sure. But I think this book is going to take a hit. Long term, I think this book is fine, right? If you have it, you love it, keep it, right? But I think in the short term, this will take a hit, right? So not all, like as I showed you, all books have been like peaking in like May, June, April. But look, August was a peak for this book in a 9.4. So not all books are going down. A lot of them are getting hit hard, but not all of them. And I have another video coming out later where I'll talk about 5 books that are actually going up in value and continue to go up. So here we go. 9.4 peaking this month. So why do I say maybe you should sell it? Maybe it's going to drop. Because I have a feeling that the Suicide Squad movie came out. People loved it, but it didn't do very well in the box office. What does that mean? Probably not making another one. They don't make other ones if the sequel loses money. That's not usually how the studios work. Number 2, blanking on her name. The girl that plays Harley Quinn. Why am I blanking on her name? I forget her name. Anyways, it'll come to me randomly. But she is done playing Harley Quinn. She has said in an interview, she's like, I'm done with the character. She's been playing it for like forever. You know, she's just done. So the odds of Harley Quinn coming back, not really likely. She is done playing the character, and they're not just going to jump in and throw in some other actress as Harley Quinn right away. They usually let the character like kind of die down, and so you know that actress's name doesn't get attached to Harley Quinn. So when they could bring in someone new, it's okay. Usually how they do it, and plus they have a lot of other villains to get through. So I mean, she has her TV show, her cartoon show, which is actually pretty good. So the character's always going to be around. The character is super popular. Long term, I have no fear in this book. But I think this book, since the movie already came out, the actress is done playing Harley Quinn. I think there's going to be a lull for Harley Quinn. I think it's going to drop. I think we're right in the peak era. So, you know, if that is the case, then I think if you're looking to sell, I think now is a good time to sell. If you don't really care, if you're looking to buy, I would wait a little bit. I have one more. I know I said 5, but now this is a bonus. But before I show you my bonus one, if you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing. I really hope that today is the day that I can earn your subscription. All right. Bonus one. If you watched my first video on top 5 books that are going down, here's another one. I'm rehashing. Let's do an update on Spider-Man 361, first appearance of Carnage. So this is an update on the numbers. So let's see how it's doing. Now, as you know, this book was dropping like just a ton. Because, like I said, the trailer came out, the hype's going down. I just don't see like. It's going to be interesting. We're going to have to wait and see how the movie does, how people receive Carnage and what happens with Carnage going forward. All right, so in July, it sold for an average of $9.57 for a 9.8. It is currently selling for $9.14. Its peak in July was $11.83. It is now is down 4%, a 9.8. A 9.6, $3.85 with a peak of $4.82. It is now currently selling for $3.88. So up 1%. Not bad. August isn't over. It's like halfway over. So who knows? Might go down, might go up a little bit. A 9.4 sells in July, average 336 with a peak of 600. The average now for a 9.4 in August is 285, minus 15%. So it looks to be still going down. I mean, think about 1 month. From 1 month to the next, it's already down 15% for a 9.4. Like, it seems, but if you look at the graph, it's not a straight down. See how it's kind of slowly curving down? So I think we're nearing the, not the complete end, but I think it's still going to drop a little more. But like I said, I think in my previous video, it still has room to drop. I think it still has room to drop, so it hasn't completely flattened out. Wait till it flattens out if you're going to pick up one. Now you can still sell them. I mean, I still have some that I'm trying to sell. Will it go up with the movie getting closer? It really depends how cool Carnage is. That's up in the air. I haven't seen the movie, so I have no idea. So, yeah, that's kind of like 5 books that I've been dropping plus 1 update. Let me know if you like these update numbers, and then I can, when I do more of these, I'll throw in a new update on a previous book. Yeah, as always, a link to my website is down below, collectorscomics.com. And a link to my music as well. Please subscribe and maybe comment on a comic book that you've seen that has also been dropping a lot and you want me to talk about in my next videos like this. All right, have a good day and thank you.